everybody. I'm Kipp Snow. I'm the director of the Transportation, Distribution, and Logistics Institute at the Community College of Baltimore County.
Mike Singer, Community Manager, Baltimore and Chesapeake Bay Shipwatchers. Welcome to the Baltimore and Chesapeake Bay Shipwatchers podcast. Okay, so
All right.
I know. Maybe not.
We got some good news, don't we?
Well, yes. So we would normally say, let's get right into our shipping update. But the ironic thing is there is no shipping update because there was a strike that came down Monday night, Tuesday morning. So there was one day of truck transactions, 3,600 on Monday.
Well, that is a significant number, but that was also industry trying to come in and say, hey, look, we don't know how long.
Oh my God, let's get all this stuff done while we can.
Let's clear it out. Sure.
So yeah, maybe a little bit inflated. So the huge, great big news is strike averted. So, oh my God, just wonderful news. No way I thought it was going to happen that fast. I would love to hear the fly on the wall story of how that actually happened, because there was an awful lot of, how we say, tough language.
Colorful language.
And, determined language.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so the fact that they basically extended the existing contract, but only till July 15th, January 15th. See, yep. I can say advocacy, but I can't get the months right. So, it's always something. So, let me read some of this. The union representing 45,000 striking U.S. dock workers. Wow, 45,000. So from Maine to Texas?
Down into Houston, yeah.
Yeah. And then when you looked at the map, there was like a little sliver that wasn't included. Did you notice that?
No.
Was that like Mississippi or no? Maybe they just didn't color it right. I don't know. Anyway, union representing 45,000 striking U.S. dock workers at East and Gulf Coast ports reached a deal Thursday to suspend a 3-day strike till January 15th to provide time to negotiate a new contract. The ports sweetened their wage offer from about 50% over 6 years to 62%. This is interesting, which I didn't think about this because this is the devil in the details.
Yeah.
Any wage increase would have to be approved by union members as part of a ratification of a final contract. So
here's,
you know that?
Yeah.
Or did you just knew that because of how well you know how all the stuff works?
Well, I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not, union or ILA expert. However, I've tried to do a little bit of research on this to try to make sure I'm understanding everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they went into this agreement with a number of different issues that the ILA and the rank and file membership were trying to address. The biggest thing was the wage increase. So they're at about I think the numbers were about $39 an hour on average for the wage. And that's been at the contract level for quite a bit. So there is some justification. I really believe that for the wage increase. Now, what was transpiring with that was how much of an increase. And one of the numbers that was mentioned back in the 1970s when the strike happened then was there was the ultimate decision was a wage increase of 88 cents an hour each year in that contract. Now, you may think, oh, wait, that's 88 cents. Well, think about the time frame, consider inflation. If you use inflationary numbers from that point now to today's dollar, it ends up being about $4 an hour. So the $5 an hour wage increase is not that far fetched compared to that, back in the 70s.
Comparatively, yeah.
So if the group was willing to verbally accept the agreement of the $5 an hour per year increase each year, that tells me that was probably the bigger issue that they needed to have addressed. And then the other the other issues of the profit sharing and the automation were were things that could be discussed out and explained, but they were trying to go and use all of their leverage in order to get this contract worked out. I know that they're, so that's kind of, they got what they wanted verbally, and so the rest of the issues they can work out over the period of time and get everybody back to work.
I wonder how they do that. Like, do they have like a little website ready to go and everybody logs in and clicks yes or no and a little radio? But I mean, how do they?
I don't know
how they get 45,000 people to vote?
Yeah,
in a day or two.
I think that we might be able to get some answers on that leading up to the January 15th time frame.
You know, logistics boy, I'm always like, how does that work?
Sure.
Right up there with a 2-year-old. Why?
Yeah, why?
Why, Uncle Kipp? Why?
How do you do that? No, I don't. I mean, I would imagine because we have local chapters, that organization takes place within the local chapter to be able.
And then they all feed into,
some type of reporting or repository that collects all the votes and all of those things.
Yeah.
There was a couple other metrics that I found that was quite interesting. Now that everything's kind of back in play, last week or in the last episode, we talked a little bit about, or maybe you and I talked a little bit about it over the week. If you pulled up any of the GIS marine traffic websites, you can see the ships that were destined for a particular port put into an anchorage or temporary anchorage right off of the coast. And you could look all up and down the East Coast and up into the Gulf where how many ships and which ships were lined up. But as of this morning, there were 54 container ships that were waiting to dock up and down the East Coast and in the Gulf.
Did you get that from somewhere? You didn't count it yourself, did you?
No, I didn't have time to go count it. I pulled the information from an article.
No, it's great. I mean, because ironically, that's something that I look at constantly.
Oh, so you actually were counting them then?
The time. No. I look at it locally, and I did not go out into the ocean and start looking at clusters of ships. I didn't.
Okay.
But somebody was saying like earlier today, like in Savannah, they already had the they already had the conga line of container ships making their way up the river. Whereas for here, I don't know if, I guess we're supposed to have some tomorrow.
Yeah, Seagert was closed today. On Friday. They had some things to get straight and ready. They will be open tomorrow for the first ships coming
in. Yeah. Well, they're on schedule. I don't know if anybody's really on the MSC ship and a Zim.
They may be making their way up tonight, for something for tomorrow. Wow. So along with those 54 ships, that equates to approximately 384,000 TEUs.
Wow.
Just for the audience to kind of understand what a TEU is a 20-foot equivalent. Okay, that is the metric that's used to count the number of containers. Yeah, 20.
The small one, when you see the little shorty trailers, right? Yep.
384,000 of those. Or if you're putting it in the 40-foot equivalent, it's half of that.
Yeah.
All right. That's a significant amount of freight that's just sitting out there in the Atlantic and the Gulf waiting to come in.
Yeah.
There are a couple of suggestions. So different carriers are already doing their forward planning and their rescheduling of their routes and the like. Anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks it's going to take to get all of this backlog into. So just what we were shut down, 4 days?
Yeah, 3, 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days.
4, yeah.
And it's going to take 2 to 4 weeks, depending on which carrier it is, in order to get caught back up.
Yeah, and where they can, because everybody's calling everybody. Do you got room? Can I come in now, or when can I come in? And right. And it depends on where you're going. Like Baltimore, we only have 3 berths here.
Correct. Yeah.
And we only have 2 for the big ships, from everything from like a dolly or an ever forward and bigger. I don't think they can go to, dolly technically did go to berth 1, but that was, we don't have room for those, for more than 2 of those big ships. So
what everybody's going to be dealing with is this bullwhip effect that we typically see in supply chains, where you have bottlenecks, and this is just a product of the situation. Is we have a bottleneck, an East Coast bottleneck, and it'll take a little bit of time, but it just like just like going through the Bay Bridge bottleneck here on Friday afternoon, everybody headed to the beach. We'll eventually get it straight, and then there'll be no traffic, and then we'll be back to kind of normal.
All right, I'm going to pull an Audible here real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So let's go and look at the website, right? And we'll do our normal thing, shipping links.
Oh, so you were able to get your shipping updates in then.
Container ship schedule. This is, all right. So on the 12th here, there were like 8 ships listed for the 12th.
Yeah.
And I thought, I wonder if that's somebody's, I wonder if that was, I don't know, like the next date that they thought they might realistically, and so maybe they pushed them all out to that.
Sure.
Now, I took a screenshot of this earlier today when all these ships were on the 12th. Now, and then they were all on the 16th and 17th. And since then, that's evened out. This next week has filled in a bit more. This week has evened out a bit. Like there was another evergreen, I think
I remember you seeing that
for the 17th. It was like overlapping with this Taipei Triumph, and I was like, "Ooh, that's so maybe it's interesting how." I'm going to say if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this podcast and you find it interesting when everything is coming and when everything is going, pull up this website and watch it change daily, because it will be very dynamic. Sure. And we have some of our camera chatters, for the live stream camera on YouTube. And those guys are like, okay, this ship is supposed to be here. Now, where is it now? Oh, and I see it's down here now. And they're paying more attention to it than I can. I mean, I can't even,
Sure.
it's over the top for me. I can't pay that much attention to it, but some people are, and that can
on your Saturday they were for tomorrow. Was it for tomorrow? I believe you had two ships that were scheduled. So
yeah, a Zim.
Yep.
And an MSC, I think.
So we're gonna start seeing some things back to normal now. So
yeah. So we were gonna do some dolly updates, but we're gonna skip over that.
It's still in the South Atlantic.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Some key bridge updates.
Well, sort of.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Sort of. So let me just read this. A Baltimore Watch Company will soon sell watches made from Tsao Key Bridge steel and plan to donate hundreds of thousands of dollars to families impacted by the disaster. Alan Tsao, CEO of Tsao Baltimore Watch Company, acquired 200 pounds of steel from the Tsao Key Bridge. His goal to donate more than $300,000 in profits to families impacted by the disaster. He said, "This piece means more than just a watch. It's a piece of Baltimore history on your wrist."
Have you seen this thing?
Yeah, I got a picture of it. Hang on.
Oh, excellent. This thing is fascinating.
So there is a little key guy there. Let me see. See if I can blow this up real quick. Oh, Baltimore Strong. It's got a little key bridge action on there.
I didn't realize. The first time I looked at it, I didn't realize they had Baltimore, Maryland listed down there at the bottom also.
Oh yeah, yeah. To be honest, this watch is a little bit high end for me. So
sure, me too.
If they've always been a Baltimore watch company, I'm clueless.
No, they've got some. They've also made some orange and purple ones with the Orioles orange and the
really?
Ravens purple. Yeah, and it's got the natty bow on the face. There's a couple of Baltimore designs that this company,
Mr. Bow, huh?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, if everybody's interested in that, go take a look at the Tsao Baltimore Watch Company website. Maybe something of interest to look at. Maybe if you're looking for a Christmas gift to give for that special Baltimorean,
very special someone, because these things,
yeah, they're
cheap.
They got a little price tag to them.
Yeah. So just as an aside, did you watch any of the like when I'm on my phone and I pull up what's going on with shipping, Sal Mercogliano, like I can't get it to the list like the latest one. It just gives me the stuff in some random order.
Oh.
And sometimes I'll just want to do it. I want to listen on my phone when I'm mobile or something, and I can never seem to get it to show me the latest one. I don't know. So I tried to find. Did you listen to any of his?
I haven't had.
He did like 3
back to back to back. Yeah.
Yeah, and the last one. Today's Friday, so I guess it was yesterday. One of the camera chatters said, "Oh, Sal just mentioned that the strike might be over. There's some progress," and so I would have loved to have ran out and listened to what. I mean, I'd still like to listen to what his point of view was about what he was hearing, but I didn't get a chance to do that. So. The next thing I wanted to talk about was, and we covered this last week, but I wanted to get some more detail in here. Remember when we talked about that Wallenius Wilhelmsen ship that they reflagged here? So the Wallenius Wilhelmsen Tegelo was reflagged to an American flagged ARC Endeavor. So those white and blue ro-ro ships that come to town about once a month. On the 27th as the 10th U.S. flag roll-on, roll-off vessel in ARC's fleet. The reflag was conducted by the U.S. Coast Guard in the port of Baltimore. So that's cool. I thought that was kind of cool. ARC has consistently invested in new tonnage, and the ARC Endeavor further strengthens ARC's position as a leading logistics company and the largest U.S. flag ro-ro carrier. We are proud this investment will also enable us to grow our talented team, hiring more captains, mates, engineers, mariners, and more to crew these critical vessels. And a thank you to Captain Pat Burkett and the entire Coast Guard Sector Maryland NCR National Capital Region team for exceptional support during the reflag. So this ship can carry 7,500 vehicles.
Wow.
And it's not really that big of a ship, but as ro-ros go, standard is 200 by 32 meters. I think this one's like 230 by 32. But like on Monday, one of my sources said, hey, they got 2 more tests and certifications to do. The U.S. Coast Guard has been working hard for days, as has U.S. Customs. And they undergo the same port state inspections of the day that the ship was launched.
Wow.
Including emergency shutdowns, testing of all systems. And
you know what this sounds like to me?
I would love to have somebody have somebody on and just run through, and because I thought, it's kind of like buying a car. I mean, not really.
That's exactly where I was going.
Right. But, you're just transferring the title and over to your buddy you sold your car to, or the guy on Facebook Marketplace, whatever, and it's not that much to it, but supposedly it was days of certification and testing, and yeah, so I found that interesting to learn that.
Well, think about it. When in your used car, when you buy a used car from the buddy down the street, and the first thing you got to do is go take it through a Maryland's safety inspection station that's run by the state police to go get your car checked. And the purpose
now imagine
behind that,
if your car floated and it was big as 50 houses.
right? But it's
Right.
I guess I would want the same thing out of a ship to it changes hands. Let's go and figure out and make sure that it's not that it doesn't have loose electrical cables going to the
transformer and yeah.
Okay, so there is some importance to that.
I wonder if that's like a new addendum on their checklist. Like, we've updated your tablet, or here, insert this sheet in your loose leaf binder.
That's right, yeah. Maybe at the next BPA meeting when we have report outs from the Coast Guard and Customs, maybe that's a question that we might be able to ask, and what's involved in that.
Oh, I'm totally asking that. If you don't ask it, I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm totally asking that. Absolutely. And then, yeah, I thought the American flagged container ships, I thought they were subsidized by the government. I thought they were basically paid.
Like Amtrak?
I don't know, but that's probably not synonymous. But anyway, so supposedly part of this reflagging is a huge duty to the U.S. government, something along the lines of 40 to 50% of the hull value.
Wow.
I thought it went the other way.
I don't know.
And then I was discussing this with my source, and he said, well, you're getting these things mixed up. And I was like, oh, well,
okay.
Hey, teach me, I want to learn. But he didn't have time. So maybe that would be.
Got some homework there.
Yeah. Next on the list is Sparrows Point Container Terminal Project.
Okay.
So doesn't sound like super exciting or maybe beautiful news. But so this is the newly flagged Endeavor with its new name painted on there.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they actually, and you could look at that. Can you see that yet?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can you see the old name?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So they did that here at the port. That looks like some pretty good work there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're talking about this container terminal. They have to figure out where to put, I forget what it is, 4 million cubic feet of dredging. And they are either going to, let me see if I can just so they were going to build a dike out here in the water. Right?
Yep.
And then fill all this in. There are also some options further back on the property. There's also ocean dredging.
Mm-hmm.
There's also some talk about reopening Hart Miller Island, which closed for, I would assume, are environmental reasons. I don't know. It closed before it was full. It never filled to its potential, and they closed it, and they haven't used it in 10 years or more.
Okay.
So, but they're talking about, hey, what if we were to donate some money to the communities around the area? We'll donate $40 million if we can reopen this site, and it would help us find a closer, quicker place to dump all of our dredge. But let's leave this picture up. Let me see. Let me zoom it in a little bit more so we can kind of see what's going on here. So folks can get a picture of. So this is where the terminal is going to be, right? And this would serve like 2 big container ships at a time.
Correct.
Okay, and then here's the back of the terminal where you would put the containers on trains, and the trains would take the containers away, if they weren't going on truck. Anyway, so let me go back and read. Significant milestone for Sparrows Point Container Terminal Project. Independent report confirms sediment from the southern portion of the Sparrows Point Channel meets criteria for ocean placement. One of several placement alternatives for dredge material that is being explored by the SPCT. So let's go back to our photo. Darn it. Yeah. Let's go back to our photo. Let's go to the next one. So if we look in this map of the channel, so over here to the left is where the container terminal is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see, I don't know if you can see these numbers, but there's, 20s, 30s, 15, 9, 15, 9. All that's got to be 50, including this whole channel coming in. Right? So, but then when they say the southern, I guess they did some test borings or samples of this outer portion. And I guess they've divided it for some reason. And so they feel that this outer portion can go. Maybe they suspected, now I'm just guessing, maybe they suspected that the stuff closer to the former Bethlehem Steel plant might not be as clean or whatever.
If you had runoff, or in certain cases they actually did do some dumping out there, you have a higher belief or chance that it's going to still be contaminated.
It would be interesting to look at if the research department wanted to put that together.
Okay, we'll add that to the list.
Yeah, add that to the list. The list is piling up, man. Right? Anyway, like how much slag byproduct of steel that they just dumped. They took it in rail cars or trucks or whatever and just dumped it and created land. Yep. They did that for years. But then again, you've got ships coming in and out of here for decades, right? Hauling stuff in and out. So, yeah. So anyway, but so this turn here has to be a lot bigger. This channel has to be a lot wider. And so you can see here it's in the 40s or maybe high 30s, but this all has to be 50 feet. Because you've got to be able to picture the biggest ships that go into Seagirt, and you got to be able to get 2 of them in here.
Correct.
And they got to be able to get around each other. So when they're at the pier, this one's got to be able to do this, and vice versa. So they really have a lot of dredge to consider moving out of there. And they are looking at a bunch of different avenues, locations, types. Yeah. So we talked about last week the John Brown doing their ghost ship. And then what happened last week?
They didn't. They canceled.
Supposed to be their opening weekend.
Yeah, they canceled it.
Yeah.
I think that there was some concern about the ILA strike and what potential issues may be involved with people congregating and the alike. So it's going to open back up on the weekend of October the 11th. And so you've got the next 3 weekends, or please, since they missed out on the first weekend, please go out there and help support the Brown. ssjohnwbrown.org is the website where you can go to the little button that says tickets. You can get tickets for their ghost ship and be able to have a great time and spookiness and whatever. I've seen some of the pictures and some of the the mock-ups. The displays and things are really cool looking. So that's
and it is a fundraiser.
Yes.
As we talked about before, because she is a passenger ship, because they sell tickets for passengers, it's got to meet these Coast Guard requirements, got to go to a dry dock every 5 years. And this time they found problems.
Yep.
They found electrolysis problems where the steel was
being zapped under the water.
Yeah, basically being pitted from loose electrical current. And now because of that, they have to go back in 3 years, which means, like we talked about before, just imagine if you budgeted something for 5 months. I mean, in this case, I'm just using a ratio. And then, so now you've I've only got 3 months to find the money for this.
Yeah.
Well, it's 3 and 5 years, but still, we're talking about, I don't know, $1 million or something. I should have that number off the top of my head. Again, don't take away my Shipwatchers card. But we're talking about a lot of money. So you're basically 40% less time to be able to raise those funds. So again, if you love Halloween, if you love the fall, if you love October, if you just like the color orange,
if you like the maritime industry,
if you just like pumpkin pies, go.
Yep.
Check it out.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so support the John W. Brown and have a good time while doing it. So.
Yep.
For the Port of Baltimore history.
Yeah, what do you got?
There's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming up at the end of this month.
Okay.
Throughout time. And so I went and picked something that is kind of within that time period towards the end of the month because of all the other things I'm going to probably try to address. But so fast forward a little bit, the Chesapeake Lightship. We know what it's the big red ship in the harbor that's got Chesapeake written on it. I wonder how many of us know that it is a floating lighthouse.
Yes.
Okay, so it is a floating lighthouse. It was launched on October the 22nd, 1930.
So it's older than the Eagle.
Yes. How about that? So its purpose was to patrol, inspect, and guide maritime traffic at the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. So this is during a period of time where, we were in kind of transitions with older style lighthouses, some of the new technology that was coming on. This gave a hybrid ability to be able to go and help those vessels within that area. So the ship, ship with a lighthouse on it. It was decommissioned in 1971. Was given to the city of Baltimore in '82 and became part of the Historic Ships Museum in 1988. So you can go down to the Inner Harbor and tour that ship. But that's the early part of, or one of the October points of interest.
A whole bunch of stuff in October, huh?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in October to listen out for.
So. All right, could you have your research department contact my research department? When you come up with these dates, I would love to have them because I'm going to put them on the calendar.
Okay, we could do that. Absolutely.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is try to find some things within the week that we record this. But we do have a lot of things coming up in October. So
awesome. That's cool. That's a nice segment that we added. That we didn't really do that in the beginning.
Sure.
But it's a nice feature.
Stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's about it for tonight, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
Kind of a quick one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Friday night, we all got stuff going on, right?
Yeah, and I bet you your mug is already empty at this point.
I wished it was empty, but it's not. But
I'm ready to pull this tie off. Oh.
All right, man. Well, I know you got a lot going on. I appreciate you squeezing us in.
Oh, good.
Yeah, man.
You want to close this out?
Yeah. So, like we always talk about, we are Baltimore and Chesapeake Bay Shipwatchers. We're a community of ship watching enthusiasts. People are just fascinated by what goes on here at the Port of Baltimore. We do whatever we can to help promote and support the port. And we, as you saw earlier, we have our own website, baltimoreshipwatchers.com. We are under Balto Ches for YouTube, Instagram, and Twix. Shout out Amy Lawrence.
I'm now calling it Twix.
There you go. And I ran into somebody else said it the other about a week ago, and I was like, aha!
There you go.
Catching on.
And if you're in the car audio, want to listen to the audio version of this, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Right. And suggestions, hate mail, Rotten Tomatoes to Mike at BaltimoreShipwatchers.com.
That's right. Send it to Mike. Don't send it to me.
Is it me at BaltimoreShipwatchers.com? No.
Mike. All right, everybody. Man. Thank you very much. Just a quick check-in and update for this week. And we will see you next week. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Happy shipwatching. Was that horrible?
Yeah, it's all good.
Who cares?
It'll give the audience something to fuss at us about.
Yeah.
Send it to Mike.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Shipwatchers.com.
There you go.
All right, everybody. Have a great week.
Have a good week, everybody.
All right. See you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kipp Snow. I'm the director of the Transportation, Distribution, and Maritime Logistics. Is that right?
Close.
I think I said it like 4 different times today, and I can't.
Welcome to advocacy.
I think I even heard advocacy like 4 different times today also, and I'm like, they said it right. They said it right. How come we can't say it right?
Not you, not we, me.
Oh, I've done the same thing.
Have you?
Oh, of course.
Oh.
I even say advocacy over and over again, going, is that the right way to say it?
I did it. I did 1 day of practice. I said it like 10 times. Like, advocacy.
Are you in front of the mirror?
Advocacy. No. I was just wandering around like in the kitchen or whatever. Advocacy. See? Simple.
Cut. That's going into the blooper reel. That's going to be a short. All right, here we go. Recount it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Kipp Snow. I'm the director of the Transportation, Distribution, and Logistics Institute at the Community College of Baltimore County.
Wow, man. I think I need to lengthen my title. I mean, I just, I have like small title syndrome over here. Hey, everybody. Mike Singer, Community Manager, Baltimore and Chesapeake Bay Shipwatchers. Welcome to We never say this. The Baltimore and Chesapeake Bay Shipwatchers podcast.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, we never say that, and it's Friday night, and this ain't coffee.
That's not coffee, and I'm still in my tie. It's been one of those days.
Yeah. This ain't coffee, and I'm not telling you what's in there.
Hey, we got some. All right.
No,
no more Friday recordings.
Right. Yeah. No. This is the first sip, and I just don't care. Okay. So.
All right.